Good morning. Good morning. We are right at open. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. We're going to be live streaming the NQ. We're going to be doing some live price action, watching it. We're going to be seeing if we can find any type of setup. So if you are excited, give me a thumbs up. Raul, thanks for joining, man. Glad to have you here. We're super excited to have you here. I say we are, as in I am. So let's go ahead and let's start taking a look at the market. The market just opened. Let's start with, let's see if we have any news that's happening. I know we have some type of news today, but let's just pull that up. Today is Thursday, May 16th, and we had 8:30 a.m. news. And let's see, where's 8:30? Is this 8:30 right here? Yep, there's the news. You can see the wick candle. We wicked some buy-side liquidity. We didn't get all-time highs, but since then we've been dropping. So we have that aspect of it. Now let's open up regular trading hours. Let's see if we have any gaps that need to be filled for our regular trading hours. No, we are balanced. We are balanced. So there is not any opening range gap that we need to be concerned about either. Okay. What else do we got going on? Make sure I got everything connection. Okay, looks like everything is good. Okay, so I'm going to be again executing off screen. I'll be executing on a micro account that is copied on a few other accounts. Trying to look at consistency over high profits. We have a bunch of consolidation right here. We've hit all-time highs. This is our all-time highs that we hit right here. And since then, we've been just consolidating back and forth. We wick up, grab a little bit of liquidity right here in this candle by shooting over this, and then we've just been down trending. Now, this is very interesting. The unknown is very present right now, because does the market want to continue higher, which if we look at higher, we have no reference to the upside. Does the market want to retrace? If it wants to retrace, we have this leg right here that we can look at a potential retracement and find out where equilibrium's at. So equilibrium is right here. Not surprising, right around an order block. Let's look at the 15-minute. But really, what I see here are relatively equal highs. We could potentially see a push lower and then continue higher for a period. Now, obviously, with the move we had yesterday, which was unfreaking believable, I honestly would expect a crappy day today. Price action that isn't very reliable. It could be wicky, it could disrespect PD arrays, whether it's in discount or premium. We don't know. We have to see how the market wants to respond. So right away, I have this 15-minute that was bounced off of right here, and it looks like it's bounced there again. Let's go back to regular electronic hours. Looks like we're hitting that again. We're in that 15-minute BISI, buy side imbalance, sell side liquidity. So we've used this twice. Let's go to the 15-minute right here. We've used it 3 times. So we've 1, 2, 3. This is our 4th time entering this. Let's see if the market wants to support it or if it wants to bounce off that. Okay. Going down into the 1-minute time frame. Really, there's nothing good here. Nothing that I can use. Maybe we have these equal highs right here. But for us to potentially use that, the only way I could use it is using it through an inversion model, which would be a large candle down with a fair value gap, and then we break through that fair value gap targeting these equal highs. Here's some equal highs here as well. And then we have our data high, which is right here, just short of the all-time highs. So that is where things are sitting right now. I've been working on some quarterly theory, so you're going to see that overlaying my charts here. The quarterly theory basically talks about how we use power of 3 or accumulation, manipulation, and distribution, and using those and lining those up with times in the market. So we're going to see how these play out. Just reference points. Okay, we're redelivering off of this 15-minute again. If we break this equal high right here, that would give us a potential breaker from a low, high, lower low. So this also would be doubled as a breaker. We just want to see if price wants to respect and act as if it wants to move higher. Or does it just want to wick up here and then continue lower? So if we look at this right here, these 4 boxes, this would constitute as accumulation, manipulation, and we could see distribution in this stage. So this is why I'm using it. is I want to look at it in 90-minute cycles, and then see if we actually get distribution in this stage, which it aligns. So far, timing is right as far as the model of accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Now, do we actually get a model where it actually shows up in price action that we can reliably count on for a move higher or lower? I'm looking at, this is the 2-minute chart right here. I like this 3-minute as well. 3-minute looks, it's giving us a little more animation in the form of fair value gaps. So right now we just wait. I want to see something that pops out to me. And right now, nothing's popping out. It's more of me, can I make something work mentality. And I don't want to do anything with that. We do not want to do that. We grab some liquidity here. We have this BISI, this 1-minute fair value gap right here. If we closed below it, we potentially could see us hit the lows again. But we don't know if we're going to enter as a form of consolidation. We're hitting the right time frame for price to move, basically the 10 a.m. macro, which is from 9:45 to 10:15. So we just need to see price formulate into a model that's recognizable and that we can actually profit off of. Now you're going to see these 3 boxes here. These are even smaller. These are 30-minute timelines, 30-minute sections of price action that form a 90-minute cycle. So this would be the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. It doesn't always pan out that way in price action, but when all these things align, it just brings more confidence in price action and in the idea of you taking a trade. Well, it looks like price wants to continue higher. Well, this is a good sign. The only downside that we have is we never reached equilibrium of this giant price run higher, which equilibrium is sitting right around here, 642 approximately. I would love for price to come into discount before we move higher, but it doesn't necessarily have to do that. It's just what I would like to see. Nothing very attractive there. Nothing really looking good on the 15-minute either. So we hit this 1 minute. We made equal highs. Let's see. The high for this candle is 700.25. The high of this candle was 700. So this came in one tick short of this high. So we actually didn't redeliver. But these are still relatively equal highs. Nothing really happening right now, guys. Nothing. I mean, for every trader, we want something to happen. And as I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself. And so I'm saying this out loud because patience is what wins. Patience is what keeps us profitable. Patience is what keeps us from losing money. This constitutes as a market structure shift. So we have this low and we break above these equal highs. So price can continue, and I expect price to continue this way. We just need to look for an opportunity for an entry. Where that is, I mean, you could use an inversion from this fair value gap right here and target these highs. You have another fair value gap right here that could actually be resistance to price moving higher. So that's why this doesn't make it as attractive. However, we also are potentially on the buy side of a market maker buy model. Why do I say that? If we go to the 1 hour, anytime you see price come and wick down or come down and wick back up, this wick is a market maker buy model because it makes that curve. You look at the 5 minute, here's that curve right there, just coming down and going back up. That's what wicks represent on a lower time frame. So the thing I don't like right now is I just don't feel we've moved down far enough. That's the truth for me. For me to want to risk capital, I want it to go down below. I would like it to enter this 1 hour fair value gap. I mean, it could go on to a 15 minute, which we're redelivering from a 15 minute. So that works. I'm just not convinced. And I don't want to force anything, so. I'm okay with not taking a trade, if that's what it means. It's not very exciting, but that's the reality of trading. Here's a 1 minute fair value gap. We are now closing above. We hit these equal highs. Now we have a chance of pushing higher right here. I am not in this. I'm not completely convinced yet. I may consider, if we come back down, now that we've seen this candle, if I see us wick back down to this fair value gap, I'll look at taking an entry. Assuming that this is a market maker buy model. Come back down into this fair value gap, which would be a touch of these candles here. That would be a potential entry. Just looking for price to come back down and wick into here. If we do that, that will tag us in. We are redelivering from a 5-minute time frame. That's giving me a little bit of hesitation here. We got a breaker model right here, but I think we could see some higher prices. So let's see if we can get down in here. I like this large order block at 943. That's a nice solid bullish order block. We're watching to see if price comes down back into this fair value gap right here. If it does, that will give us, this is the inversion. I did not take it on the close of this. I wasn't sure if we were just going to wick above these and go back down. We also have a 5-minute fair value gap. So I wanted to see how it reacts. It looks strong. So if we get a sharp stab into here, I'll use that as a potential entry with a 5 to 10 point stop loss. Because there's nothing else here on the 1 minute. We got the 2 minute, which we have not hit yet. We're probably about to. And the 3 minute, which we are redelivering from. We made equal highs here. That would be nice. Equal highs with a stab back down into this IFVG, I would be interested in that. See how it holds. All right, we're gonna go long right there.
Order filled.
Took a second for it to fill. And let's see if it holds here. If it doesn't, I got a stop loss below the mean threshold.
Order submitted.
Looking good so far. So I have a stop loss that's sitting right. Let's see, I got in, there's my entry. Stop loss is just below this breaker. I got in about right there. You could really target the highs, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to see how price goes. The next stage is this 5 minute. We have this 5 minute fair value gap that we really need to break through. I want this 5 minute fair value gap to be broken through. On the 2 minute, we have this 2 minute fair value gap that we are in right now. If we can close above this, that is ideal. We want to see us close above this 2 minute fair value gap, which also is a 5 minute fair value gap as well. So we're sitting in this trade, just waiting, watching it, see if it plays out. I'm going to pull that 5 minute back as just a reference point. This is our next point of resistance we need to see ourselves break through. It gave us another opportunity for entry. Now I want to see how price reacts if we maintain this. Let's go down to a 1 minute. That's a little bit easier to see. I need to see this close a bullish candle here. That's ideal. And we closed above this. That's a bullet that turns into a bullish order block. This is a really good sign, guys. Really good sign of aggression. Let's see how we continue. I want to see this. This second candle needs to close green following this bullish order block. That's what we need to see. This is what happens when you got choppy price action. It just doesn't move straight there. So haven't decided if I'm going to move my stop up or if I just want to take profits early. I want to be patient and I want to watch this play out. Good morning, Vital. We're in a trade right now. We are sitting right here, so we're positive on it right now. However, I'm not liking price action. It seems like we're plateauing a bit, and I'm not liking the way that looks. This is redelivering from a 5 minute here. We need to push through this 5 minute and break through this 2 minute fair value gap right here. These two are the next two that I'm really looking at to see price push through. I'm not liking it, guys. I'm going to, if we get a pop higher, I'm going to move my stop to break even and potentially close the trade. I'm not liking this portion right here. This is not pretty. This is signs of a top. Now, it could absolutely just continue higher, but it's not what I want to see in my price action for me to be in a trade. Come on, baby. Let's pump. Let's pump. Get up there. Get up there. I'm not liking it. All right. I'm going to close my position
Order
there.
filled.
Closed it for 5 handles. I'm just not happy with it. So I closed that position. Closed it for 5 handles. It was about right. Right there. So it seems like I closed it just in time. Like I'm not. This isn't very appealing to me. So let's close that. What did that get me? That, yeah, 10 handles. That's basically what I got out of that. But I'm not gonna lie, that puts me green on the day. That puts me green on the day. Now watch this just explode higher. I tell you what. This is why we watch price, because as we had a trade idea right here, we got in our position right here. We've respected this IFVG right here. Does price end up breaking through based on this lackluster price action, or does it explode higher? This is where us sitting and actually analyzing and watching price, tape reading is what we call it, and see what happens. So my stop loss would have been was right below here, so I would have technically still been in this trade because I put my stop loss below the mean threshold of this bullish order block. This is where you'd want to put it, because if we break that mean threshold, there's a higher probability we go lower. I'm just not liking the way price is reacting here. So for me, I'm out. I want something that gives me a better visual setup. So we're still respecting it here. So we could absolutely still explode higher. It's just not the risk I want to take. I don't want to take that risk. I really don't. I had an opportunity to get 10 handles when it wicked here, but I didn't take it. And that's what happens when you take small size. When you don't take multiple contracts and you just take one, you're in and then you're out and done. You can't, scale. So it looks like, well, we'll see what price wants to do here. And just to show you guys, I'm gonna log out of this. I'm gonna show you that I took what I took, so you guys MNQM 2024. I want you guys to see that I'm actually saying what I mean when I'm saying. So in this price action, I think it's right here. Are you not gonna show? Oh wait, I need to open my account. All right. So there's my executions. So we got in when it wicked lower. Here's this fair value gap. This is where I got in right when it was in this fair value gap. And it wicked a little bit lower, then went back higher. And I got out right here. You can see that, 708.50. I just didn't like how price was moving. And you can see where price is going now. So just to kind of give you guys insight what's going on behind my screen on the off screen when I'm doing my executions. All right, so looks like price wants to move lower. This is the kind of price action I want to see, man. I want him to be in this. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, even with this drop down, look where we stopped. We stopped at the 15 minute. Now, this could be interesting. We have this 5 minute. Let's just remove this 2 minute because the bigger resistance on price is this 5 minute. Look at how it respected the consequent encroachment. This is the stuff I want to start seeing before so I can be like, we've respected this multiple times. Maybe I need to get out because we're below the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. So this is gone. I like this right here. I like this. We close above this, I'll look at entering that. It needs to be on this candle though. It needs to be aggressive. Target would be this high for stop to break even. So this could be a potentially quick play. $20 seconds. We have an SMT here as well. ES did not make a higher, or NQ did not make a lower low, and ES made a lower low. So that would be an SMT, which means that's a signature in price we like to see that indicates that price wants to move higher or lower, depending on whichever way it is. In this case, we're looking for a bullish move. This SMT here indicates to me we could move higher. Got 26 seconds left here. 5 minute, nice large wick on that 5 minute right here. It's also redelivering from that 15 minute time frame again. But we need to see price actually break above this fair value gap for us to actually do anything. The longer we stay in here, the less I like it. Why? Because I want to be in an energetic move. I see the bearish break you're talking about, Ro, right here, or at least this high, low, higher high. I'm not convinced that. The main reason is look where we're redelivering from. It's a 15-minute fair value gap. This is a 5 minute. This isn't as probable. When you start going up into a higher time frame, look at this higher time frame. And I'm not saying I'm right in this. I'm just telling you my logic on what I look for, what I'm looking for. This is a 1 hour time frame. We have a wick, and a wick. We have 48 minutes left in this candle. But this wick, look right here is here's an hourly fair value gap right here. That's an hourly fair value gap. So we did break below it, which means we could see the lower prices, but I've seen many times where it'll close below it and just go the other direction, especially on a higher time frame. And the other thing is, this isn't as clear to me. I want something that's clear. While yes, I see it, I want something clear. And when you're at all-time highs, ICT talks about this. When you're at all-time highs, you don't try to time the top. You don't try to assume that, hey, we've peaked. The only direction is down. He talks about how you actually want to, when you see a drop, buy and play for it to make a higher high until it stops working. So when we're in an all-time high type situation, that's where I'm leaning towards bullish. You could be wrong. We could be wrong, but we have to have a bias where we start looking for opportunities. And this is the logical, or my logical explanation for why I'm looking for what I'm looking for. All right, so I'm sitting here talking and we missed my entry. Did we close? Let's see. This low is 0.25 and we closed 0.25. So we did close. All right, I'm going to take a, see if this wicks in here again. If we get back down into here, I'll take an entry.
Order filled.
All right, I'm going to take a long right here. We're watching this fair value. We're watching this full fair value gap. I don't want it to close. I want it to be interject. I want it to be animated higher. I'll be quick to closing this if it doesn't.
Order submitted.
Once we hit this high, if we hit this high, my stop's moving to break even, targeting this high. Actually, as soon as we break this, I'm going to be a little more aggressive on my stop. So my stop's moved to break even right now. My stop is at break even. And my entry is right here. So my stop's at break even.
Order filled.
And it stopped me out. So that was a break even trade for me, especially with profit on the table. I'm not willing to take a loss. And especially once we broke above this high right here, we should be if it's really wanting to move higher quickly, it should have targeted this high. Because I already have profit on the table, I'm not wanting to risk. So that was a break-even trade for me. How long are you going to be gone for? That's fine.
Order filled.
So it looks like it wants to still go higher. And it really should, but I just wasn't wanting to leave any risk on the table here.
Order filled.
Yeah, I don't like how slow it's being, but I do think we're moving higher. I mean, this would have been more of a more conviction for me is it if we did wick below these group of lows right here on this candle, that would have made this even more conviction for me, and I may have not moved my stop loss to break even, but I'm happy to let this go without me. It's, I mean, look at price action. We've been respecting the mean threshold so far. We've closed above it. That's a good sign. I just don't know like how it's slow right here. So there's a good chance we'll probably just keep pushing higher. It's just not a high conviction trade for me right now. And another way I could say it, if I'm honest, I haven't had enough screen time for this particular thing to really have the conviction for it. So here it's probably going to go. Hey Tiff, thanks for joining. You're in a NAS currently, but my stop loss is now at break even, but super slow price action. Yeah, it is super slow. Yeah, I mean, see this reaction right here? That would even turn it. If you didn't move your stop to break even, you should be to break even right now. And if this goes any lower, you should be stopped out just to protect your positions. Oh, you opened at the New York Open. That's a heck of an entry. So I've been right around here. Yeah, I mean, that would work. You got a 15-minute fair value gap here that you could redeliver, use support, moved higher. Were you targeting the all-time highs? Looks like we'll hit the high. We should hit highs here. As far as if we target the data high, we'll see what happens. We can see, let's see where are we at here? 5 minute. Okay, so there's the high right there. We have 2 minutes left before we close above this 5 minute. We'll see what happens with the 5 minute if we close above it or not. If we close above this 5 minute, I mean, there's a high probability that we will hit these data highs from 8:30. If we don't close above that, it might be a little sus. Breaker inversion. You talking about that bearish breaker? Yeah, I mean, you can look at, look at the, let me zoom a little bit closer here. I have them faded so they don't take up the chart. But do you see these pink lines here? These are the 90-minute cycles within this quarter. So each of these are 30-minute time frames. So if price breaks above a previous session or a previous 30-minute cycle, we want to see price find support at the highs of this previous cycle. So that also then is that inversion breaker that you're referring to. So if price wants to continue higher, we should see support here. And we did close above the 5-minute. That's a good sign. I would have had more conviction to hold, to be honest, if we took these lows. That would have given me that conviction. I'm okay with not being a part of this. If you did take this inversion right here and you moved your stop to break even, you should still be in the trade. We really want to find support on this 5-minute fair value gap acting as an inversion. This also, I mean, we're a little high. It's a little high for me to do an entry to go higher. So I would not look at that as an entry. Here's equilibrium right here. So if I was getting in along, it would need to be below this leg. Looks like looks like they updated that. That's nice. Giving you the ability to put text on these Fibonacci tools, on the fib tool. That's nice.
Connection lost.
Yeah, so right now we're just hovering above that 5 minute. I'd like to see it hit this data high from 8:30. Well, cool. I'm glad you found the stream, Tiff. How long have you been trading? Let's see if we can be aggressive right here. 9:30. You see, you should see a little bit of animation right here. Well, glad to have you here. Yeah, we need to push immediately. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing here to hold this back. It's probably just going to flash higher. If it is going to do it. ICT talks about this is a rejection block. So this could act as a rejection block. If it's going to, this is where the rejection block would happen. Above these bodies and a rejection somewhere in here. Yeah, I mean, I saw significant improvement in my trading the moment I started following ICT. I started consuming everything, hours of his content. And literally you have to get hours of his content just to get about 15 minutes of some good stuff. We want to see, let's see. All right, let's look at the 5 minute here. 5 minute, we could see it come back down and create a new 5 minute, just wick into this new 5 minute that was created. That's probable. It could wick down in here, still find some support. This actually would be a decent entry. It's just a little too high in premium for me to want to take. If I was going to take it, I would have needed to be down here. So there's the wick into the 5 minute. Let's see how, if it finds support here, if it wants to continue lower. What also look at this right here. I like this. There's this is a break. That's the top of a breaker right there. It overlaps perfectly with that 5 minute. There. I like that. I'm half tempted to want to take something here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I like the way this looks, especially after that candle at 10:33. see if we wig down into this fair value, get this 1 minute fair value gap.
Order filled.
All right, so I did tap, and when it did tap that again, I went back in. So I am in this trade. I want to see it needs to push right above this fair value gap right here at 1032 quickly. All right, it did close above that. That's a good sign. I'm going to move stop to break even.
Order submitted.
I want it to push through real quick. It's left equal high there. I don't like. All right, I got in. That was my entry. Stops currently at break even. Really would like to see that happen, but based on how price has been moving, it's been just real slow. If we get, I want to see how it reacts once we break this high. If we break this high and close back below it, I'm going to close the trade. If we close with some aggression, I'll hold on to it. Yeah, it needs to show that it wants to go. A wick above and a close below it is not very attractive. Come on. Just go right now. Go. You know you want to do it. Does talking to the candles work for you guys?
Order filled.
I don't like that. I closed that trade. I didn't like that candle. We literally do this. Boom, boom, boom. I could go back in if it finds support at this 5 minute again. I mean, I've seen that happen multiple times. We're also, it's before a macro. This probably could do this until we hit the macro at 9:45 or 10:45, and then actually want to move between 10:45 and 11:15. this just stretches patience, I'll tell you that much. Guys, I apologize. I'm going to have to cut early. I have a sprinkler guy coming, and I'm just seeing him show up. So I really appreciate you guys here. This was fun. I like the interactions on the in the comment section where we can engage. So I plan on doing something tomorrow. It's not going to be very active, but because there's no news tomorrow. But I enjoyed it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, take care.